Hi, I'm currently in my pod waiting for this game to load its online stuff because I don't want my game acting up whatsoever, even though it probably already does anyway, but you know it's complicated. But yeah, I wait just because that is me, despite me being sometimes impatient. So I'm going to show a level that I've been working on for over a week. It's probably been for 2 weeks by now. Not entirely sure. I think I started on March 2nd or so. I just know it's been beginning of March since I started. So almost 2 weeks I've been working on this level. And it is by the name of X Fallen. This was named by Konomi Miracles. And this was also given to me by Konomi Miracles. And the interesting thing about this level is that it started in Little Big Planet 2, but he brought it into Little Big Planet 3, changed a few things, and this is what it became because I also jumped into it. This is the more updated version of that level. Seeing it come this far is actually really cool. Because in the original version, it was really lagging for me. Because here's the thing, Konomi Miracles is on PS5 and he edited the level on that. So this is definitely laggy for me. Up until I deleted the decorations for the platforms. But rather than just doing that, I kind of still try to give them an aesthetic. So, as you can see here, they light up when the player gets onto the platforms. Originally, this was going to match the player color, but with me not knowing how to mess with that, I just put it to white for now. Maybe until I can figure that out, I can put it like that, but I think it's good right now. It also matches this little wall jump platform here. The level has some tunes from Master Blastia and Velvet Audio. I'm thinking of putting some different songs, maybe more of them as well. And I think this music was especially perfect for this level. I think it just fits the vibes because when I showed this to another person through screenshots, they said it looked like something from, like, I guess a mid-gen NVIDIA GPU or something, which I think is a good thing because I love aesthetics like this. Yeah, everything like the, I guess, rocks and platforms, that was all Konomi, but again, I did do some tweaks on my own. And the thing about this button is that you can change the songs. I might replace this with some other function, but I'll think about that later on. That isn't all the songs, but whatever. Yeah, the thing about the songs though is that originally it was going to be where the first song would play and it played the next up to the last, and then the last one would loop back to the first one and it would start over. And while me and Konomi thought that another person of his fixed it, it wasn't really fixed. So I tried not to worry too much about that aspect, but I was like, okay, you know what if we just have it to where the player can select the music of their choosing. So in my opinion, I think that's a better system, because that way, if there's a song they like, then I guess they could just keep listening to it like I am right now. And like Anamorphosis by Velvet Audio. By the way, about this wall, you are able to run on it. I think I showed that earlier. And you could grab this rock for a brief amount of time until you fall, but what I do is I press X again to run at it again and jump without the platform. I failed to do it that time, but yeah, it is possible. I tried giving this a level, sort of Little Big Planet 1 aesthetic. And I guess a way with how the camera works is like early Little Big Planet 1, meaning before it released. I really like Little Big Planet 1's style for some reason. It's hard to explain, but it has an aesthetic that is really exclusive to it. The motion blur, the way the cameras work, Sackboy, it's just perfect. It's hard to say if Little Big Planet 2 has like worse graphics. They're basically the same as Little Big Planet 1's, but the entire aesthetic is like different, mainly due to the tweaks of it, like less motion blur and yeah, that was to just match up with the future aesthetic of that game. I don't know, Little Big Planet 2 is still great though. You know, aesthetically it was dumbed down, but like, it's still a pretty good game. So I guess this is like a mix of the two, which I think is pretty cool. As well as Little Big Planet 3 with the layers especially. I guess animation, if I want to change that. In a different build of this, which is lost, because this is like one of the only, I guess, 2 builds. There was Sackboy's voice in this. His voice from Sackboy: A Big Adventure. There are sounds in this game that have that have voices that sound like that. I tried that for a bit. It was working pretty well, but you know, hearing that voices in other costumes, it's pretty weird. I think everyone else agrees. So. Yeah, and this is a Slapsters inspired level. It's made because I like those levels, and Konomi was like, you know what? Let me just gift this to him, and that's how this entire thing started. And I like where this went. I'm hopefully going to keep working on it, because I have plans for it. I don't think there's too much to show here at the moment. I would have a second player with me, but I might save that for like a trailer or something, or just for you to experience on your own, just for like surprises and stuff. I don't know. This is mainly just a showcase, so yeah. Now with this dodge mechanic, with me going transparent earlier, this is probably the best feature of this level, because when you're getting spam slapped like that, you can just get out. And I think at least once that has been everyone's dream in the game, to just get out of a slap. So I was like, you know what? Sure. And the way this worked originally was different, but I did some tweaks to where if you dodge, you don't fly off the map. That's the thing that used to happen, you just fly off the map if you like jump and dodge. But I fixed that. I don't know why it was like that before, but I think this works better, in my opinion. And with this dodge right here, it was going to make it to where the player is invisible, but knowing that someone can just press R3 and see where they're still going, I was like, you know, there's no point for them to be invisible if they still see them, so yeah. And that's what I did. When you dodge, you are invulnerable for the length of 1 slap. So this is the same time as that. So yeah. And the cooldown is 3 seconds. Because from testing, I tried to do some like really fast like slap combos, like slap grabs and stuff. The average was around 3 seconds. I don't know what the use is for the cooldown 3 seconds necessarily, guess I can explain it like this, where if the player is getting like almost killed to that amount of time, they can just dodge back and then give payback to the opponent. You could say this causes like a paradox or a counterplay, but that's what makes things interesting, because it all depends on the player's skill. And I would say this level feels very different compared to most Slapsters levels, mainly because of how its mechanics work. You have a wall run mechanic, you have a dodge. Its aesthetics are really interesting. You got these really dynamic cameras, the motion blur, like a Little Big Planet one, along with a thing where automatic layer switching is off. It is a useful feature for a lot of people, or mainly just people who play Little Big Planet, but mainly for the competition, I wanted to turn that off. And I think it was also useful to where the automatic layer switching wouldn't act up. Like if you try to, say for example, go to this platform, oh, and somehow you hit that and then you fall off or something, I don't know. Yeah, that happens sometimes and you just die, but I want to prevent that. It's only this area where manual jump down is on. Everywhere else you can't do manual jump down. So there is a lot more work being put into the competition of this, and you can't grab players from a different layer, so you have to be within the same layer to grab someone. So if you try to combo slap them within, like, you know, a layer behind them, maybe two, I don't know if that's possible, it's going to be a little harder for them to try pull that off. So any slap combos with grabbing, that's going to be harder because you can't grab from the other layer. You have to be within the same layer, and because the other player can dodge. So just with simple things like that, that can change the gameplay. And with simple things like this, there is so much potential, and I'm going to make that come true. So far, only issue with this level is the fact that well, I don't know if it's the level, but Little Big Planet 3 doesn't have it to where players can spawn into any checkpoints, so they could only spawn into one. Little Big Planet 2 does not do this, which is a good thing. I wanted to have it, well, me and Konomi wanted to have it to where the player can spawn into different checkpoints, but that apparently is not possible, or it's done in an entirely different way that I'm not sure about. And nobody does a how-to on that for some reason. So, you know, if you know how to do that, please let me know. Anyway, yeah, I tried multiple ways for that. I tried hooking a randomizer to a selector to go to all the checkpoints and go through them randomly, and that did not work. I hooked a button to all the checkpoints, pushed it, and, you know, died a few times. Did not go random checkpoints. Nothing worked for it. So, really, one of the only solutions we have for it so far is to have it to where either a checkpoint would just be floating around the level to where a player could drop somewhere, or there could just be a checkpoint somewhere, like just in the air, and then the player could, like, I guess, glide to wherever they want to go. Why this is necessary is because if players are spawning into one, like, checkpoint, they're mainly going to fight at that area and not go anywhere else. So, to keep things interesting, I might have it to where there would just be a checkpoint floating around and then the player could just surprise drop. I think that's more interesting than the gliding idea, but yeah. I want this level to work in the best ways possible. I want it to be played in the most ways. And not be broken. I don't know if I said before, but I would have another player with me. But yeah, this is just a showcase. this level's shaping up really well so far. And I hope that it is enjoyed by many players. I want it to be active, if that's possible. And not just a level where you just play it once and not play it again. It's hard for me to say that this level needs to be popular, because I'm not that kind of person, really, but thing with most levels, if it's popular, then it's going to be played a lot. So I guess that's just how it works in Little Big Planet community. Yeah, while I do have plans for this, oops. I don't think I want to say them right now, but I will get into those things later. So far, I'm enjoying this level, even if I'm just bouncing around. I've tested this with a few players. That seemed to be one of the things that were enjoyed the most by them. Just exploring the level. So even if you just don't want to fight, you should have a good time and just have a few things to do while not much would be happening. I was just in a flow state with this level, so that's cool. It's not like the other things I work on, which is interesting. And this can go many ways. And yes, I put on shades because I thought this was fitting for this level for some reason. But yeah, I think that is it so far. So yeah, hope you enjoyed viewing this level, and hope you'll be able to play it, have fun with others, and yeah, I'm out.